It's a shit show. It's the shit show. Ba da 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 da. So in addition to being off schedule by the days, I'm set a freaking alarm for next week or this week. I don't know. When I get off here, maybe I'll do it before I pass out. But I need to start setting. I realize I need to start setting alarms for these shows because otherwise I'm just like, or I forget entirely. And it's like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to do that. Gaming's been a little light. Like I spent a lot of time in Minecraft this past week. We dug out, or we went to this village, like in part of the Great Expansion. It was really the search for sand because we had some really large biomes that were not deserts. So like the nearest sand to us was like 5,000 blocks away or whatever. So in the process of that, we found a bunch of villages, or we found like 3 villages. And they've all since been killed. I did, as an admin, I did repopulate one of them, and that one is Vale. That's actually been doing okay because we built a garrison around it, which includes an ogre wall. Which, if you're familiar with Mo creatures, there's these big things called ogres who will actually smash blocks to get to you. So you have to build them your walls 4 thick in order to get it so they can't perceive you through the wall. Otherwise, you end up with like Kool-Aid Man, and he jumps through the wall at you. Even then, you still have problems like golems that can pick up blocks. Endermen will steal shit out of there, and then if they pick away at it enough, then the ogres can sense you through it and will come through. So I spent a lot of time digging out around Vale, and Vale was kind of in a valley to begin with, and there's not an original building left. I think I took down the last original building this last time in upgrading it from a garrison to a city. I more than doubled it in size, but in order to do that I had to dig out because I wanted to keep the town even, or flat as it were. So I had to dig more out, so we're like, the village is already in the middle of a valley, so now there's this big rectangle dug out of the ground, well, at least on 3 sides, with like mountains overseeing the city. So terraforming around Vale will have to be a priority eventually. But I was just really proud of it because with the more foods, there are more crops now. So I was able to plant 2 sections of like every crop. And that takes up a bunch of space to do that flat instead of like in a farming tower. And maybe eventually we'll do a farming tower. I think that would be good use of resources at some point. But for now, this works. And I'll get them filled out eventually. What was I going to say? But I'm really enjoying all the mods that are on there. I'm finally clearing out this abandoned mine that we found in the Moorlands. That was CT. In the Moorlands, like on our server, this is the map. Like Vale's kind of in the middle, and then the Moorlands are top right, like northeast. And then there's another Moorlands or something this way ish. Somewhere over there. I can't even remember at this point. So we got to venture and go find that too. I mean, I actually built a walkway all the way out to the North Moor place. So eventually, hopefully through the abandoned mine, we'll get a bunch of rails and maybe be able to link that up too. I don't know. I have a lot of fun. I like all my projects are community projects. I don't have any personal projects other than that, like that aren't for public use. Doing the garrisons in the cities, doing the railways. I guess if I might be being greedy by doing the ventures for all the rare materials, but whatever. That's what I have to say about that. I did play Towerfall. I actually got to the point with Towerfall. I've been trying to get the hardcore skulls, and get a little better. I just realized like I'm not good at it. The platforming is good as much as I actually like that game. It's just frustrating and a little punishing. And I was like, and it seems to be the game I go to whenever I try to play something else. So I was like, I need to change this up a little bit. I've been enjoying Towerfall, but I need to stop playing and try something else. So I just kind of picked something off my games list. I was like, I don't even know what this is. I don't know, let alone why I have it. So I did a blind play of Caster, which you can see on this channel or possibly on Twitch still. I think it keeps it for 30 days, 90, 70, 60, I don't remember. So I was really like, I don't even know what this is. I didn't do any research or anything beforehand, so I got in there. I put it on baby mode or casual or easy or whatever the hell you want to call it. And I played through it, and apparently it's actually a very different experience for each skill set. So I would suggest you play it on normal, not casual. Because casual, you just charge up whenever. On normal, you actually have to grab energy to recharge. Or you have to have energy to recharge, whatever the proper phrasing is for that. But I gotta say, it's a really good game. It looks like it was made really on the cheap, like Unity base graphics and everything. Some really horrible, like hand-drawn stuff mixed in. If you heard that, that's my Horde computer logging off. Like just horribly contrasted with the 3D models. Like the 3D models are bad, but you don't really notice because you get into the game a little bit, and then that just really makes it stand out, how horrible everything is. And when you first start playing, you're like, what the fuck is this? Why is he walking like that? And then as you get a little bit of money or credits and you upgrade your suits and your powers, you see exactly why he looks like that, because the game's designed for him to move very quickly. It's a totally different experience once you start improving your dash. Your dash and what I've been calling the Mega Buster. Though my favorite weapon is definitely the heat-seeking missiles. Because you can like start dashing and just kind of rotate around and let a bunch of missiles fly. And it usually finds its mark pretty well. Definitely on big targets. And for the most part, it helps on flying ones. For the little shitty bugs that like to hide in nooks and crannies and stuff, they're kind of a pain in the ass. But and the fleas are the worst. Hate those things. But overall, it's a really good game. It felt like a proof of concept of what like a 3D Mega Man should be. And that's kind of what I want to see next out of that. I would really like to see just like, you probably could get away with doing this. Capcom would probably shut you down, but Capcom do this. Redo the first Mega Man in 3D. Do Mega Man 3D, and just use the first 8 bosses or whatever. And just do 3D levels. With like when you finally get to your target point, that's where the boss is doing whatever dastardly deed he does. The main problem with this is going to be that because you go from a 2D to a 3D environment, it's not going to be a 2D environment where you can plan out all the spawns or deal with slowdown, things like that you used to, because it used to be like, I need to do this perfect. If I hit the buttons at the right time in the right order, then I will have completed this level. You can literally program something to beat Mega Man with a predetermined moveset. Fuck me if I know what that predetermined moveset is, but like when you hit 3D environment, I'm not saying you can't do that, but I'm saying that it definitely changes how you have to interpret the game. And I think I would really like to see 3D Mega Man where like I get my leaf gun or my bomb blaster, and I'm not. As much as I liked it, we're not doing the terrain effects. The terrain manipulation in the game was the most interesting part of that game for sure. And it's honestly just amazing that they got it to work on such a granular level. Because it was literally like you use the little gun, and you shoot through, and you can actually like prick through the thing, but you've got to do it where you're cutting down. So I don't agree with the physics there, but it's crazy enough they got to work as they did. And then they've got things like it's like this artillery bomb, like it hits and then there's two versions, one that actually raises the ground, one that lowers it. So there is that. So that was really neat. I've played console stuff. Journey's the first console thing I've played in almost a year. I don't really plan on going back to that. I've had several conversations lately, especially with E3 being around, that like just consoles it's such a dead technology. I don't understand why we're still dealing with it at all. The solution with the exclusivity problem with consoles is to add options to each OS to have it behave or mimic behavior of the other OSs. In theory, if you will have all consoles that could all have the options of everything else, then they're all essentially the same thing. Oh, look, you have PCs. The big advantage used to be for consoles that you had a standard in graphics fidelity. Now PCs have got a pretty low thing, but like anyone who plays games upgrades it. And you can you can probably put together a gaming PC for as much or less than what you pay for a console. And it does everything a console does because consoles are mimicking PCs. It's the stupidest thing, and it's because the consumers want to be dumb. And the Steam machine is where the happy middle ground is, because that becomes a PC with a standardized minimal hardware in it, so that the games can be released like by spec with the Steam machines. So like hopefully the Steam machine will be the stepping stone to all these other things that will lead to us being PC Master Race, or the only race. It might be the final solution. I understand Holocaust jokes are poor taste, but I get a very rare where it's even semi-appropriate to use one. So there, 999. But that HoloLens, fuck me, that thing was awesome. I don't know how often I would use it, but I'd love to see entire shows done specifically for the HoloLens. We're very much going to get to a point where we're going to have to be filming, instead of a 2D front look on as if we're mimicking a screen, we're going to have to be prepared to act and film in 3D as if we were doing computer animation, even if we're doing it in real life. And that may mean like green screen out cameras and cameramen. They're going to have to be in like creeper suits so that the chroma can cast them out. And we're going to end up watching them with moving cameras. The interactive movie is going to come. It's probably going to happen in computer animation first. Someone's going to take that next big step, and hopefully it's Pixar, because then it'll speed the process up a lot. Let's just say that. Where you will be able to take control of the camera with either a remote or a game controller or whatever, or you can choose to watch it by default camera settings. But there'll probably be a lot more like auto panning in that version than you normally see in movies. But it'll be set up so that you can watch it from like this 3D up high angle. If you're used to watching RTSs or Dota or League of Legends or Heroes of the Storm or Dawngate or any of that crap, StarCraft, Dawn of War, you're already used to watching things in that perspective. Being able to swivel the camera on a cone to watch the battlefield or whatever is second nature to you. Even if you can't fully do it on some of those games. But that's the standard that everything is slowly creeping towards. And when VR hits the market next year, I say VR, when the Oculus Rift and the Morpheus and HoloLens hit the market starting next year, at least one of them is going to come out next year. That will be when we start doing these things, because will be things in the marketplace that are common enough that will utilize things like that. Because you will be the roving camera. It won't be such a thing as like it'll rotate on the cone or on an axis or whatever, but you'll be able to roam around the scene, as it were. And I think that's what I wanted. I used to have dreams of that when I was younger, like even before high school. I think it was probably before high school, going to high school, like where like I would have a dream like that I was in a movie, but it was almost a choose your own adventure story movie. And so I could actually interact with the characters. And because you create an entire world for this thing instead of like just creating a singular linear storyline, your actions and reactions have consequences in that world. And those are the type of games that I want to see and possibly even program in the future. There is a particular one of mine that's a fantasy of mine for a zombie infection. Essentially, the bare bones of it, and I don't care if someone rips this off and makes the game. I'll be the first one to buy it. Send me a copy for free if you feel guilty. Where you basically have a world simulation, like you've got a planet or a region, however small you want to designate, depending on difficulty, and then you've got, let's say, 10,000 people, just to keep the number happy. Someone randomly on that list, possibly within certain regions, depending upon how you want to do it, becomes the first zombie, and either they're killed or dealt with or whatever. And if there's like a full day in game without infection, somebody else it happens to, and the server or the simulation just keeps running until either everyone is alive as a zombie or all the humans are dead. And it turns out either zombies or the people win. And if your character goes down, you can pop it into a body of another character, kind of like the Matrix, like when Mr. Smith would just kind of possess somebody. So you could just flip through people and just kind of see what situation they're in. When you find the person you want, you jump in. Yeah, I think that'd be a fantastic game. And in the beginning, it would run a lot like Grand Theft Auto. Like you're just in a world. Like, oh, what do I want to do today? Do I want to rob a bank? Do you want to have a tea party? Do I want to go down to the strip club and whatever? And then you get out of the strip club and like, where'd all the people go? Like, suddenly there's a zombie horde at the other end of the city because they've just like it's just been spreading. And the biggest thing with that would have to be programming how people learn to combat the zombies better. Because eventually they're going to figure out to shoot them in the head. So you'd have to randomize like where the people are shooting the zombies, and then eventually every time they get a kill, you give them like a positive feedback point, and then like they use those positive feedback points to choose where to aim better. And then eventually they're like, yeah, you shoot them in the head. And so then the NPCs waste less ammo. There's lots of good ways. Man, I want that game so badly. The problem with that game is it's not a game that you just boot up and run yourself. Well, you could do that. You could start your own server and run it. The way you properly play that game is you do a public server and you let as many people as you can connect to it and take over as many people so that you have an entire planet warring for life. And that's how I think the 40K game should be going. Like you should be part of an Imperial chapter of Space Marines or the Imperial Guard, depending upon the scenario, if you really want to get down to it, or the Sororitas Adeptus. Like, so if you die, you just become another Marine that gets sent down the planet. But as long as the Marines can keep sending Marines down to the planet to back off the Orcs or the Zerg or the Necron, whoever it is that day, because let's face it, there's a lot of enemies in space. And then if the enemies can take and hold the planet, then they get the planet. And it doesn't even have to end there. You could do galaxies where, like, the space enemies then fall back from that planet, or they have to change strategies. Because if I remember right, there are different ways to do it. So you could actually get people collecting, people playing orcs collecting scrap to build rockets to go to space, and then once they're in space, they take the other engines they brought and strap them to meteors and send the meteors into other planets to start spreading orcs all over again. There's a lot of different ways you could do it. It's deciding where you want to stop it. And it's why I was excited. I thought it was going to come out this June. Apparently Blood Bowl 2 is coming out this June. That's what they said. It's June. It's not here, so it'll be here by July. But I think, God, what is that fucking game called? There's an MMO for 40K that's supposed to come out, I think, in August. I always forget the title because Eternal Crusade, I think that's it. Non-intuitive as shit. It's like, what does that mean? I don't fucking know. But they wasted a bunch of good names on games that either didn't come out or came out and just were massive failures because they weren't handled properly. Only thing Games Workshop is good at doing is creating high quality models that they can then sell for too much and ruin their own business. So basically just making these models. They're not good at any of the business sense of anything. So it's no surprise that they mismanaged and mishandled all the video games. The only game, I'm sorry, games. There's two games that I approve of. The only two games that I approve of are Dawn of War, which was in no part up to Games Workshop. They just happened to get the right people for the job, which was THQ. And then when THQ went under and Dawn of War 2 came out, they fucking ruined it again. I don't understand. Like, you had something that was going wonderful. You didn't let them put the effort they needed to make it a quality product. So the original Dawn of War series goes under with a bad perspective from the audience, and they bring out Dawn of War 2, and it's like, what the fuck is this? I guess it's a game I can play. It's really annoying. Really annoying. And I have, what is that game? Battle Cry? Kill Team. And Kill Team's fun, but it's not a 40K game. It has a 40K skin, but it's like a futuristic version of Gauntlet. You just run around and shoot and beat the fuck out of things. Space Marine is not a good representation of fucking 40K at all. Blood Bowl 2, Blood Bowl in general, is the other one that was handled correctly. And the only reason that was handled the best from beginning to end is because somebody who knew what they were doing decided, fuck it, we're going to make this game, because it should exist, and it doesn't exist. Why doesn't it exist? And they found out why it doesn't exist when Games Workshop sued them and then hired them to make the game for them. Like Cyanide originally did, I think it was called Chaos Ball. I don't think you can find it anymore. Good luck to you if you can. But they did this illegal version of it, and Games Workshop was like, no, do it better. So they gave them licensing. They sued them, took control of the company, gave them licensing for it, and had them make it. And it's like one of the best games on PC. If you like turn-based strategy style games, play Blood Bowl. Play Blood Bowl. If you like league style games, if you like league style games that carry over and like you can level up your players, play Blood Bowl. If you like permadeath, play Blood Bowl. There's so many good reasons to play it, and the only reason I can say that you don't play it is if it's too slow for you. If it's just like, no, I just want to play, then play something that's played in real time and enjoy. Not everything is for everybody. My phone. This piece of shit. I had a lot of issues with it, but there are a couple games that have gotten my attention if I go to the bathroom or something or whatever. I just want to kill a couple minutes. It's really handy to have a game on your phone. I would suggest that everybody have one game on your phone that you're like, oh, when I get bored, I bust this out. And then when I am done with it, I will delete it and never play it again. Powerline was mine for a while, and I finally got up to like the 9x9 maps, and I just kind of got tired of being like, I did all this because the procedure is all the same. It's like you go around the edge, and you face in everything that's there, and because you did that, these other things have to be that. The only thing that the size makes a difference of is how many times you have to do that to complete the level. And it's like, these are really that clever. Someone, I was at the dentist, and the dental assistant said, oh, that reminds me of Free Flow. I think that's what it's called. So I put that on my phone, and the objective in that is that you have to draw lines on this grid from color to color. So you've got to connect the blue, the yellow, the green, and the red, and like you've got to fill all the things. And that got real procedural for a while until I got to like the mania levels, and like, oh, some of these are actually clever. And then some of them are such bullshit because they just want you to fill in everything. It's like it's super obvious how you connect things, but then you have to wind the shit all around. No. But I had to remove things from my phone because I finally got it rooted, so I could try to manage the space a little better. There's not a lot of space on my phone, and I hate it because I've got 32 gigs of. And I'll just say that right now. This is ridiculous. I'm repairing a laptop, and 120 gigs. This came out of like a PS2 or PS3 or something, and I put Windows 7 on here to get this laptop to work, and I realized it's 120 gigs. I just bought a flash drive for 128 gigs for $30 maybe. I'm getting a better hard drive for this if I can't get the one that's here to work. And so the data is just insane. It's insane, and I don't understand why with the way Android, even rooted, limits how you can manage your space. I just can't do anything. Even if I'm installing apps to the SD card, half of it still stays on the internal storage. It's ridiculous that I can't just have it run off my SD card. I'd pay somebody money to figure out how to actually move the damn OS or install a new OS to that SD card and ignore the internal memory. Because with 32 gigabytes, I'm gold. The 4, is it 4? I think it's 4. The 4 that I get on the internal is worthless. Really is. It's like, oh, this is a phone again. It's not a pocket PC like I've been doing. The only thing that it gives me that my computer can't do, Periscope and Meerkat, which is another thing entirely. But it does give me the ability to carry games around. Why did it make that sound if I'm not? Oh, I guess I am connected still. I was going to say, let me pull up this game real quick, because I did find another game that I did install since then. It's called 1010, whatever. I was looking at this, and I could not figure out how I felt about this game by looking at it. Because I just wanted like a little puzzle game, something like Tetris, where like you fill in blocks and shapes. So I was like, what would make Tetris good? Because what I don't like about Tetris is that you have to react in real time, is you've got that pressure on you, and some people thrive on that, and that's just annoying to me. It's like, well, I know how to do it, just let me do it. I found that this essentially is like baby Tetris. You literally just take these shapes and you put them where you need to. The thing is, though, is that it's not. Damn it. And then you get like a new thing. It's not limited to the bottom row. You can actually stack them anywhere. So it acts more like a true puzzle. Man, my lighting's not set up for this. I guess it worked like this. And you can actually do the sides. I'm trying to see if I can actually trip this. But you can't rotate the pieces. That's the, hey, this is actually kind of annoying bit here. But I mean, you see what I'm doing. It's nothing special. But you see the side went away there. So as long as you get them lined up, it doesn't matter how you get them lined up. Let's just do this real quick. That's not what I wanted to do. So you can actually get rid of the middle line that way. One day I will figure out how to do things right. But it's just neat. Everybody should have one game. And it shouldn't be Candy Crush. So fuck you a lot for that if that's what you're doing with your life. And normally I don't shit on people. You like what you like. Enjoy. But like when you're supporting idiots that actively are ruining the industry you're attempting to enjoy, fuck you. Get wise up. Whatever. Realize what you're doing to yourself and others, and stop making us deal with you. Fucking hell. My head hurts. It's been hurting since about 8 o'clock this morning. Ibuprofen has been no match. The kitties have felt my ire a dozen times over. Say hi. Say hi. You can see her, the way she's up on me here. Say hi. I'm Ivory. I'm miserable. Yeah, I know. But that's really all I got on gaming. I'm gonna try to do another blind playthrough. Go see my caster playthrough if you want to see some 3D Mega Man like stuff. But I gotta do a couple things before I pass out. And yeah, catch me tomorrow on I Did It Right game on Jam on Toast. I'm gonna talk about some things I've been watching. And then the day after, because I'm going to set an alarm, I promise, I'll be over on... oh, I did it wrong. This way. HTKB. That one. Talking about life. Because life gets in the way and shit. So fuck that, fuck this, fuck you, and... That's right, fuck you, kitty. Fuck you! You and your spinny chair. I got cats out the ears. I like that all you can see is her poofy tail. Oh, no, it's okay. It's okay. She was very surprised that I touched her. Goodbye. Until next time. You'll see me then. Bye.